What's up, Bills fans? Whew, that was another somber defeat, if there ever was one. I mean, for all of those who got happy after last week's game, albeit a loss against New England, saw some life out of the team, I guess, at least offensively. The defense was pretty bad against the Pats, but this week, another real low. They go out and just no other way to put it, just shit the bed. I don't know any other way to describe that their performances in the last however many weeks now, especially against the run. I mean, uh, and I know this team is terribly void of talent in a lot of areas, but to me, run defense and having played football, albeit at the high school level, I just remember that was about heart. Man on man, getting off a block and making a play. And I know that there's certain plays that guys get caught in space and stuff, and you just don't have the athletes. And it it just looks like Buffalo doesn't have the athletes, or they just don't have the ability to do these simple things, to just rudimentary things of football, even like on offense, like catching, blocking, just at the very core of the game. And it just seems like things that they should be at least good at, being an under talented team, they're just horrible at. You know, due to the fact that they're so untalented. I mean, there's been guys that have been physically talented, but they just don't have the mental to match their skills. And then there's guys that have been overachievers, guys that just don't have the ability to make up for it with their smarts. And this team seems to be lacking in both areas. It's mind-numbing for us fans that live and die with this team and have so for a long time. I mean, it just, and last week was just symbolic of this organization. And they released Trent Edwards, and we're like, yeah, they're taking out the trash. They're getting rid of bad players. Edwards. They then all the news of the Chris Kelsay re-signing kind of gets put under the rug. But you got to think, they just got rid of a third round quarterback who makes like $1.25 million. Not a real big cap hit. I mean, Trent. I mean, come on. He tantalized us with 4 good games in '08, and has miserably crapped the bed after that. I mean, good riddance. I mean, no big loss, but you just gave Chris Kelsay a $24 million contract. I mean, that to me, Bills fans, is at the root of this organization. I think things like that, things like why Tom Modrak is still employed with the Bills, because I think Ralph Wilson likes him. I lay all of this at the doorstep of Ralph Wilson. Every last bit of it. He surrounds himself with yes men, nobody that's going to come in and say, "Hey, look, this got to be fixed, man. Obviously, the formula that you have going on here doesn't work." And any good personnel guy that he's ever had in the history of the team, he's run out the door because he wants to meddle. He wants to be, you know, involved. And I don't know how involved he is at this late date. I mean, I think the man just turned 92. I don't know how involved he possibly could be, but him, as per being in touch with the league and what works and doesn't work, he's well past it. And I honestly, Bills fans, I mean, we can get the first overall pick, etc., but I don't see in this team changing its stripes till the ownership changes hands. I really don't. I think that they'll stay in Western New York even after, I don't want to talk about somebody dying, but if that's what's going to have to happen before the team does change hands. But I just don't see the team doing anything. I can't trust the guys that are in the personnel department to make the correct decisions with players because the same guys are there. Modrak has been around since Donahoe. How is he still there? I don't know about the rest of the scouting department, but I mean, you just got to look at the guys he's brought in, like Buddy Nix and Gailey. Yeah, we want to believe that they know football and they're gonna make the right decisions, and I don't doubt that they do or want to make the right decisions, but are they gonna go into the ownership and say, look, we need this, we need that, we need to go out and spend money and do that. Are they going to do that? I mean, I think they're happy to be employed. I didn't see their names at the top of any other team's lists of openings. I mean, Buddy Nix, I mean, he was retired, came back as a scout. Gailey, I mean, the last time I heard of him, he was offensive coordinator in KC. I didn't even hear him up for any offensive coordinator jobs, and all of a sudden he's Bill's head coach. But I'm not trying to knock them or anything, but it all comes back to personnel. And you know, your coach could be good or your coach could be bad. I mean, it's like Jimmy Johnson. He looked great in Dallas. You know, when we got Miami, you know, he didn't have Emmitt Smith and Michael Irvin and Troy Aikman. You know, he had Damon Heward and guys like that. I mean, granted, he brought in some other guys, but it's besides the point. It just, you see this team and the players that are supposed to be producing for this team, it just, ugh. Did we even see Aaron Maben on the field today? Even if he was on the field, that's the even scarier part. Even if he would been on the field today, it would have been the same as him today, not being on the field. He was on the field for 2 plays. I saw Antonio Coleman out there. I saw Moats out there. I didn't see Ellis too much. Kelsey, oh, he looked terrible on 2 runs to the outside where he just slipped after Tomlinson made his cut, and then the whiff that Whitner had was just, oh my God, that was all-time putrid. That was just, you know, and this guy's supposed to be the voice of the team. He gets up into the cameras and say how embarrassed he is after the game, and he's emotional, and we didn't have any effort. I mean, dude, you're on the field too. I mean, if that's your leader, they're very symbolic of him because they're just horribly overrated and just terrible. They're terrible. I mean, and you can tell how bad they are because, you know, you look at in most football fans will look at the, you know, the sexy things, the things with teeth, like, you know, receivers and, you know, tight ends, sexy things that, you know, help you in fantasy football. But you look at football people and they watch the rush, they watch the offensive and defensive lines. Who wins that battle? And Buffalo loses that battle week in and week out. On offense, you know, they try to run the ball. The running back is dodging people in the backfield. On defense, they're getting knocked 4 or 5 yards off the ball. It seemed like, I mean, and everybody wants to make over Tomlinson in this great game he had. He had it against the Bills. I mean, come on. I mean, Danny Woodhead could have did that. Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis, give him enough carries. That's such crap. I don't want to hear about this resurgence of what Damian Tomlinson when he had 133 yards against this defense. That's ridiculous. And, you know, they have a good offensive line, and you know they have a sound scheme and all that stuff. But I mean, come on, this defense is you know, he didn't run on the 85 Bears or the 2000 Ravens here. I mean, they're far from it. And you know, you just look at I mean, they were without Stroud, Andre Davis, but how much difference would those guys have made? I mean, remember remember that class of players they brought in? This is symbolic of the Bills then bringing in free agents. Everybody knocks their draft classes, and that's easy. You know, Lossmans, the Whitners, the McCargos. I mean, that guy's still inactive, and he's still on the roster. You know, Maben, just the list goes on of first-round garbage. You know, Puzzlesny, second round, but still, what difference does this guy make? None. But the free agents, you know, the offensive linemen, you know, they pay Derek Dockery, richest free agent contract in Bills history. You know, he's released in 2 years. Langston Walker is another $24 million man. Gone. I mean, what did he do? Did he eat his way off the team or what? I don't know. He was released 1 week before the season last year. Let's remember, it was Stroud, Kavika Mitchell, who's released, and Spencer Johnson. Remember that big 3 that they brought in? Oh, and this week another symbolic week for a player Bills fans like to talk about. It's Lee Evans. Oh, Lee Evans got to get involved in the game. They don't give him the ball. And I've said the same things, and I just watched today, and I just finally came to the realization. I don't think Lee Evans is as good as we make him out to be, just because he doesn't have good quarterbacks. He isn't. I've seen him drop a few balls today. Granted they weren't on the numbers, but they were catchable passes, and he just dropped them. He was, kind of lollygagging after, some plays, gets in front of the camera and just kind of, and it just, I don't know what it is about me. I just look in his eyes and I just see behind, and I know maybe this is overstepping it, but I just think that he's thinking in the back of his mind, you know what, I'm making $9 million. I really don't give a shit. Play like it half the time, dude. Kind of like Chris Kelsay, he gets in front of the camera today. I don't really have answers for you. I don't know why this. Dude, I know why. You suck. That's the answer, is that you're not good enough. You personally and the rest of that team is just horrible. And, let's get ready, Bills fans, because we're probably going to see some paper bags here very soon. I'm not going to do that shit, but, Bills fans who pay tickets and pay money to go to the games, they can do whatever they want. Within reason, of course, but I don't know what to tell you. It just comes down, you don't have the horses, you can't win the race, and this team is just woefully underskilled, undermanned, and just undertalented in all areas. Just this whole theory that coaches have, the things that they do, like, oh, this player knows my scheme, he can be on the team. Whatever happened to talent? Like, why isn't it that this guy is better and he can play? It's like the best free agent signing that the Bills have had in that whole decade, the whole 2000 decade, was London Fletcher. Their best draft pick, best first-round draft pick was Lee Evans. That's not saying a lot. And the best players that they've brought in were undrafted players. Jason Peters, Fred Jackson, who just seemingly is not good enough to play because he's not a first-round pick. Because I don't understand it. You have 2 first-round running backs, and then probably the best one sits on the bench most of the game. Jim Leonard, he got a good hit today, but still, he's a good player, better than Dante Whitner, Jabari Greer. 4 of the best players that the Bills have brought in the last 4 years, but you know what they all have in common? They all play on other teams, except Fred Jackson, and he might as well play on another team because he doesn't play now. I don't understand what they do over there. I've stopped trying to make rhyme or reason of it. I don't even think they know what they're doing. But anyway, Bills fans, I'll stop rambling. You have a good week. Take care. It just sucks. You're 4 games in and you're just thinking about the draft already. No chance of watching any really entertaining football or anything that looks like it could be, something that could help you in the future. It just sucks. But anyway, Bills fans, you have a good week and take care.